Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you. I hope you enjoyed my previous episode I did, the review of Patch the Pirate. I realized the volume was a little loud on what I had going on there, and I'm going to change that, fix that in the next episode. I might even have a guest for it, which should be fun. I'd love to get a view of someone who's never listened to Patch the Pirate before and see what they think of it. So that might be the next thing. But for this video, we're going to do something a little unique. I got a few things I want to share with you. But first of all, I have an apology to make. So if you've been offended, well, it's really for everyone who's watched my videos and who hasn't. If you're watching this video for the first time, I am an ex-Christian. My name is Rogan, and I've got quite the Bible commentary on this video, as well as my personal story as to how I became deconverted from Christianity. And I'm not going to get into any details of that, but I've been going through the Bible because I was raised on it. I was a missionary kid for 10 years. I was homeschooled for 12. And I was taught to read the Bible every single day of my life. And I didn't have a choice in the matter for a lot of that time growing up. And in addition to that, I was expected to read the Bible on my own, which I eventually did. And I eventually embraced Christianity and got into it myself, took it very seriously for a few years, and fell out of it. Well, it's little more complicated than just falling out of it. That's not really a good word to describe it. But I left it. And I have had an attitude that a lot of people tend to have upon leaving Christianity, which is unfair to both Christianity, as well as those in affiliation to the origins of Christianity. That is, the Israeli people, the Hebrew religion, and all that. So I've been having this bit of an attitude in my previous videos, and I want to address that and talk about that. I've written something out, and then we'll get into the more lighthearted stuff. But yes, so if you've been offended by anything I've said or haven't, please listen, please pay attention, because this is important, and it is going to affect how I treat the Bible in the future, because this is a new perspective for me that I've gained recently. So, without further ado, here we go. A mistake a lot of ex-Christians make on leaving Christianity is thinking there is nothing good to learn from Christianity or the Bible. It varies from person to person, because we all came to learn the truth about the general falseness of the religion through different means involving different kinds of abuse and degrees of trauma. Yes, everyone who has left Christianity has some form of trauma involving it. And it doesn't always happen as a result of the people. I did not leave because of what anyone did to me. I've stated before on this channel that even while leaving Christianity, I still knew there were small bits of the Bible that were true. And in those bits, for those who've never read the Bible or who are ex-Christians and are scoffing at me at the moment, I'm referring to bits and pieces like from what Jesus said, do unto others as they would have to do unto you. That is a real human psychological thing. Humans mirror each other. If you treat someone well, even when they're mean to you, they tend to soften up and eventually reciprocate. A soft answer turns away wrath. That's a verse in the book of Proverbs, an Old Testament verse that goes along with that saying, which goes right along with that human psychology. So there's real tidbits in the Bible that are true. And I knew that. Over the last several months, skipped a bit. But to be honest, like I thought I thought that was the only sort of thing that was in the Bible, just those little tidbits here and there. Like the whole thing, I didn't think, well, I came to the realization that the whole religion is false. That is my perspective. Sorry if that offends you or not, but that is what I've come to learn as being the truth. That's not what I'm here to apologize about. But what I'm trying to say is I thought there was only those little bits and pieces scattered throughout the Bible and Christianity that were true. I thought that was it. There was just a tiny handful. But over the last several months, I have been humbled by learning what other far more educated people have to say about the Bible. And while this book it still makes me cringe just to look at it because of what I have personally been through in my personal experiences and what I was taught as a child from this. But while this book is still almost nothing at all to me like it was when I was a Christian, I have gained a new, different kind of respect for it. Not the Bible that was constructed by the Roman Empire or edited by the Catholic Church and published by King James. I'm referring to the original stories, to the origins of what produced these concepts. I'm talking about the Hebrew religion that belongs to the Hebrew culture of the Hebrew people, the Israeli people. Some Christians, not all of them, but a lot of them, my parents included, and myself when I was a Christian, we thought we understood the concept of God well enough because we had the Bible. We thought we didn't need to understand the Hebrew religion because we had the instruction manual. The first 5 books are basically the building blocks of the Hebrew religion. So we thought, if we have that, why do we need to study the culture all that intensely? But the truth is there is more beneath these words. There is an entire ancient Middle Eastern culture of meaning behind the Old Testament. And if you don't know the original language or have not studied the culture itself or have not talked to or listened to actual Israeli professors and experts talk about it, then you're going to automatically misunderstand almost everything the Bible has to say in English. Especially if you're only taking it at face value. Taking the Bible at face value is the only thing I've ever claimed to do with the Bible on my channel. Just trying to take it from a regular everyday man's common sense perspective and trying to explain it from that angle. But the attitude with which I've done it, I have repeatedly, ignorantly blasted that original Hebrew religion and its God without understanding it in its fullness, for which I must apologize. I've realized every culture has infinitely more to teach, even in their religions, than what I could have ever imagined. And while it's true that every culture and every religion has made many errors that should be remembered in order to avoid making ourselves, every culture and most, if not all, religions do have a great amount of truth we can learn from them if we study them properly. The Hebrew religion means something different to the Israeli people than what someone like me could ever understand. They understand it infinitely better than what any non-Israeli and non-Hebrew ever could. They have their mistakes like everyone else, but they see more truth from their perspective than what I've been giving them credit for. And I've been disrespectful towards what I don't understand, for which I deeply regret and apologize. So, in light of this new perspective, I'm very hesitant about going through the rest of the Bible and talking about it even at face value without the proper education or at least an educated person with me, to guide me while going through the highlights so that I don't overstep my bounds on something. And so but I don't want to completely stop either, because my intention has only been to be helpful and to try and help people think for themselves while reading this book. My apology is for my disrespectful attitude that I've had. And that is something that I am going to change from here on out, that I am going to work towards. I can't even begin to get into the deep stuff that I've been learning about the Bible. That is, I am a noob student when it comes to that. All I can talk about is what I was raised on, and it's so super limited, because what I was raised on was the perspective of my father, who went through Bible seminary and who was the missionary and who was the army chaplain for 9.5 years. So it's not that my knowledge is for nothing, but I haven't been to the schools. I was just the son of the man who did go to the schools. And even his perspective was botched compared to the people that I've been hearing from. I guarantee my dad has never listened to other people outside of... Well, I mean, if he's listened to the people that I've listened to, then he's never told me. That's for sure. So I don't want to be disrespectful towards the original meanings of what the Bible meant. I don't want to disrespect the real truth that the Israeli and even Christians believe, because they do believe some truth. Not everything they believe is a lie. Not everything they believe is the same, because there are many different variations of Christianity out there, as well as different variations of Hebrews and Islam and all the other religions. They all have their different sects and variations of what they believe differently. So you got to talk to each person to understand what that individual knows and what that individual believes. So even if you just grow up on the book, it's not enough. You really have to know the culture to understand the book itself. And the book itself is completely different from the individuals that also have a limited perspective and a limited amount of teachers that they've been hearing their whole lives to tell them how to look at the Bible. All this to say, I am not going to do the rest of this book of a commentary. I'm not going to commentate the rest of this unless a lot of people ask me to, and I have other people to do it with me, because it's a big book and there's a lot of stories and a lot of advice, a lot of good and a lot of bad advice. But I don't want to stop where I'm at, because where I left off was about Leviticus chapter 25. I'm still in the first 5 books. And the first 5 books of the Bible are one of the most important sections of the Bible, because it contains a lot of the basis of what forms the Hebrew religion and the Hebrew beliefs. Most of the rest of it afterwards for the Old Testament is just history lessons and stories, which there are still some pretty cool and interesting stories in there, and displays of how God acts that to the person who has not been raised on the Hebrew religion would look really terrible. But I've covered plenty of examples of that already, and I'm not even done with the first 5 books. So, to show my sincerity in trying to be respectful of the truth that is in this book, I would like to finish going through the first 5 books on my YouTube channel, and maybe also go through Proverbs and some of the Gospels as well, because those are some other really good key parts of the Bible that have a lot of good stuff in there that's worth digging into. The Proverbs is a lot more face value, that you don't need to understand the culture quite as much, I think. Hopefully I'm not being wrong in saying that. I might be, but there's a lot of good face value stuff that I found there that I've come across in life. I gave an example of that earlier, but there's more. So I would like to do that still, and with a more respectful attitude. I still want to have fun. I still want to be able to point and laugh, but I want to do so from a more respectful angle, from this new perspective that I have, and to be a little bit more timid about what I say. And so yes, that is where things will go on from there for the time being. But during that time, I want you to start getting involved, because I've said so before on this channel. Not everyone wants to hear about the Bible and the different stuff in it, and I'm more than happy to talk about something else. But I need your help. If you would like to hear more of the Bible, well, there's more of that that's coming, and I will take breaks from it and post videos of other stuff. I still want to do my reviews of Patch the Pirate, because that is something that's a little bit nearer and dearer to my heart than the Bible ever was, because it's so much more, well, they're both artistic, I guess, depending on your perspective. But I would like to know what you would like to hear from me. What do you want to know? What questions do you have for me? I do realize some people will probably want to know, or they will want to have a new rehashing of my backstory, without the accents, without the game involved, and that is going to come. There is going to be a new version of my backstory that is going to come onto this channel that I am going to create. It is going to be in a completely different style. It's not going to be... I have been straightforward with you. I have given you all the truthful information that I am going to on the matter as of right now. And I'm going to continue to do that. But it's not going to be in a straightforward documentary fashion when I give you my story again. It's going to be the surprise. The big surprise. When you see it, you'll know. It will be posted here, it will be shared, and you will be the first ones to know of it. And it's so close to beginning, but not quite yet. You must hold on. For now, let's stay focused on the channel. I want to know what topics you want to hear me talk about. What questions do you have about my history? What would you like to know? Ask me anything you want. I literally do not care what questions you ask. I can't promise you if I will answer them, but I mean, there's only like 12, 13 subscribers that I have right now, so what's the worst that could happen? Shoot at me, let's go. Of course, keep it simple, civil, complicated, whatever. I will do my best to answer whatever questions you have. It can be about my beliefs, whatever. Whatever you see, whatever you have seen, whatever you haven't. What do you want to know? Ask away, please. Leave it in the comments and let me know. I'd love to have a Q&A video, whatever. Also, another thing that's going to be changing, I'm going to be changing the logo. So keep an eye out for that. That will be changing. I guess I should find a way to change my introduction video too. I'm working on so many different things. My ADD is bananas. I'm doing great to stay focused on this channel, let me tell you, and being able to keep up with it as much as I have. Like this is pretty good for me, actually. I'm quite proud of myself for getting as far as I have with this that I have. And yes, last but not least, the money update. The money for the game that I created is still at 810. That amount will not be growing anymore. And because there was no official winner for that game, I have to decide where to send that money. So it is going to go to a charity of some kind. I don't know yet, but please leave your suggestions in the comments below of good, legit, preferably non-religious charities that you're aware of. I would like to be able to give the money in person. I've had it on here on record to show that it's legit, and so I personally don't like the idea of recording, doing kind acts for likes and stuff like that. I don't like doing that, but because I've shown the money on here, I've counted it out, I'm gonna do it again before I go to donate it. I feel like I need to be honest and show when I donate it, when I send it off. So that will all be filmed and put on here when that goes down. For all $810 of it. And that pretty much wraps it up for this video. So don't forget to comment what charity you would like to see this $810 go towards, and what you would like to see me talk about, what questions you would like to have me answer, or topics to discuss on coming videos. Take your time, think about it, or just shoot it off into the breeze, and I will be asking you again in future videos at the end, and maybe even at the beginning every now and then, who knows. My number one goal of this YouTube channel is to share what I have learned. So heck, if you can think of a news story that you want to send me, or whatever, a meme or a YouTube video or whatever, and ask what kind of lesson we can get from this. I would love to try and get a lesson out of it, try and figure something out. That is something that I was taught how to do. It is something that I enjoy doing. I try to figure out lessons I can learn from everything in my life, not just the Bible, but from movies and from shows and different things like that. I love philosophy, and I love Stoic philosophy, all that kinds of shit. Star Wars, movies, entertainment. I like some Star Trek. Gladiators, history, wolves, my favorite animal. There's so many different kinds of music I could get into. Art. I'm an artist myself, in case you couldn't figure that out by now. So yeah, ask away. Ask about anything and everything that you would love to know. I am an open book and will be as open and honest as I can possibly afford to. All about being open. But don't ask what that surprise is, because you're going to find out soon enough. And you got to be subscribed and stay up with the channel to find out what that surprise is going to be. It is coming. It's coming in a matter of months, if not weeks. Probably months. But you got to stay subscribed. You got to stay tuned. It's a big one. It's something I've never mentioned on here before. I am so excited. Stay tuned. Stay safe. And until next time, my friends.